So problems like numbers 10, 11, and 12, they ask you to rationalize. Rationalize just means simply you do not want your answer to have a square root in the denominator. I don't care if it's on top of a fraction, but it just doesn't want it down here in the bottom. So the basic thing to do, the easiest way to do this, is to multiply top and bottom, if it's just a square root, by that number top and bottom. So on top I would have 4 root 3. Now I can't multiply these and get 12 because there's not a square root over the 4. I would multiply these two together now because they are both under a square root, so I would have the square root of 9. Now, looking at this real quickly, the square root hasn't gone away here. That just means I need to do one more step. Square root of 9, perfect square, which is 3. Now I don't get to simplify these, top and bottom, because this is the square root of 3, which is 1 point blah blah blah, and this is the number 3. These are not the same top and bottom, so this stays as my final answer. So in a similar way, number 11, I don't care if the square root's in the top, I just don't want it in the bottom, so multiply top and bottom by square root of 7. So on the top, these are both under square roots, so I'm going to multiply them and get square root of 21. On the bottom, I'll multiply those two together, square root of 49. So I end up square root of 21 over 7. Now the one thing you do always need to check for is to see if you can simplify this square root on top. This one is just 7 and 3. There's no pairs here, it's not perfect. 7 times 3 is 21, it's not perfect. But you do always need, so that's a special warning on number 11. You do need to see if you can simplify the top part of your problem to make it easier, simpler. Now number 12, this is not as easy just multiplying by square root of 2. Because there's multiple things down here, I'm actually going to do what's called multiply by the conjugate. I'm going to multiply by the 1 and the root 2. So the conjugate is just the opposite of the adding or subtracting. So instead of subtracting there, I would add it. Whatever you multiply down here, you multiply by on top too. So I'm going to distribute on top, so I get 3 plus 3 root 2 over. Now I'm going to distribute out. I got 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times root 2 is 1 root 2, or just root 2. Negative root 2 times 1, negative root 2. And negative root 2 times 2 is negative root 4. Excuse me. The idea of the conjugate is that it does make part of this go away. Root 2 minus root 2 is a 0, so that does go away. So on top I have 3 plus 3 root 2 over 1 minus 2. Square root of 4 is just 2. So I have 3 plus 3 root 2 over negative 1. And I'm going to simplify this by dividing out each piece. So I'd have 3 over negative 1 plus 3 root 2 over negative 1, which gives me negative 3 minus 3 root 2. So divide out each top and bottom to that part only, the part in the front. That's how you do that.